Hello everyone, and welcome back to a brand new Unity tutorial. In this Unity tutorial, I'm gonna show we're gonna be doing some C# programming in Unity. Now I just got some papers here so I don't, just in case I forget how to do it. Um, I'm not gonna cover that much of C# programming. If you want to learn more about C# programming, um, you can go ahead, you can search on YouTube, look up C# programming for beginners, and there should be lots of videos on that topic. Topics I'm going to be covering today in this tutorial is achievement building an achievement system without player prefs, intercom system mechanic, and a flashlight mechanic. So the last time, so that's the three things we're going to cover in this tutorial. So let's get right into it. The last episode, we we imported the Nature Starter kit from the asset store. We used the basic level from it, the demo scene, and we just imported the standard assets from the Unity asset store. Imported the first person shooter controller. Then we added a fog system. So now this time we're gonna be doing some C sharp. So for this one, we're gonna, the first topic I'm gonna cover is the achievement system without player prefs. So what you're gonna do is make sure in your assets folder, you should make sure you have this same. If yours is not the same, you can go back to the previous videos how I did this. You should have a folder, one folder called underscore terrain auto upgrade, a nature starter kit, two from the asset store, sample scenes, standard assets, and a dot asset called new terrain dot asset. So be sure. So we're gonna create a scripts folder to keep, which is the folder is gonna keep all our scripts in, so we know where to go when we need to go and modify a script. Or to do that, to create a new, or to create the folder, you right click in the assets folder, create folder. I already got a folder named scripts. You open that up. So do this achievement script. I created another folder. Right click, create folder, and I call it achievement system. The reason why we're doing subfolders in the scripts folder is because you can't have one folder of scripts, then you have like over 100 scripts, because it's gonna be hard to find it for a specific script that you're trying to modify. So creating subfolders for a specific um thing, we call it an item, uh, that you're trying to do. Subfolders do help. Subfolders do help keep your scripts nice and tidy. So go ahead and create another subfolder in the scripts folder. Call it achievement system, or call it achievements, whatever you want to call it. And here in this folder is we're gonna create scripts for just for the achievement system. So we're gonna right click, create C# script, and yes, we'll be using Visual Studio for this. Unity, if you're using Unity 2018 or newer, you'll be forced to use Visual Studio. If you're using 2017 or below, you can choose Visual Studio or Mono Develop. And I'm gonna call the script achievement 01 and enter to confirm, and hit enter twice to open up in Visual Studio. So if the script doesn't work for y'all, you can download the script on my game dev website, on my tutorial website, jmgamedevtutorials.weebly.com. Link to the website is also in the description. And select it. Once you reach the website, there should be a tab called Unity Scripts. You click that and find the achievement script there. So for this script, we'll be using a namespace because we're using UI elements. If you do not reference, in order for achievements to be popped on the screen, you gotta have to reference the UI. Because if you don't reference it, it's not gonna work. So first we're gonna do the namespace. We're gonna type in using Unity engine dot UI semicolon. Then we can get rid of void start and void update and the annotations because we do not need them. So for this script, we're going to need 6 variables. 5 of them are going to be the game objects, and 1 of them is going to be the audio source. You can choose not to use any audio for the achievement, but I do use the audio for give it a little oof to the achievement. So first I'm gonna do this double forward slashes, which is notes, and will be highlighted in green. And the notes will not affect the script in any way. We're gonna call and the notes we're gonna call it general variables. As long as you have the forward slashes, it will not affect the script. If you don't have this, it's gonna come up in red or a different color. So make sure you have the double forward slashes in front of what you're gonna put in here as a note, and close it out with another double slash. Alright, for our general variables, we're gonna have public, and it doesn't matter what order you put it, as long as you know it's in the variables, you can reference it later in the script. So we're gonna do public game object. I'm gonna call this achieve, if I can spell it, achieve notif, short for notification, semicolon. Then we're gonna do public audio. Scroll down the list, audio source. Then I'm gonna call it pop SFX, short for sound effects. Then semicolon. Then public game object. And we're gonna call this the achieve title. Public game object. Then we're gonna call this the achieve desk, short for description. Public game object. This one we're gonna reference the achieve image. Call this achieve image, semicolon. And finally public game object, the call this the trigger. There's a reason why I'm referencing the trigger in the script. So I'm putting this in notes that it's going to disable the trigger to prevent the player from triggering it again after don't have to reference the trigger, but you don't have to reference the trigger, but if you don't reference the, this is the way I do it. If you don't reference the trigger, it's gonna, the player will go right through that trigger again, and it's gonna re-trigger that achievement. So this is the way I'm doing it. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm referencing the trigger. Alright, so we got those variables out. Let's say that for now. So we got our 6 variables. Now, what do we have to do? Sorry. Uh, so how do we get this achievement to work? Well, since we are doing this on a trigger, before we go any further, let's go back into Unity. I'm gonna place where this first tree is in the path. We're gonna go right in the hierarchy, go right click, 3D object, cube, or you can go to game, up here where it says game object, 3D object cube, doesn't matter which one. So we're gonna create this cube, and we're gonna bring this into place. Let's do like, we're gonna make it to a decent size. So in the transform here, on the Y, we're gonna keep the X at 1. We're gonna set the Y to about 7, then the Z to 10. That's what you should have. And we're gonna just untick mesh renderer, and we're gonna tick is trigger. Now with the mesh renderer off, it's gonna leave this green outline. The reason why we have is trigger ticked, because in order for that script to trigger, you gotta make sure it's ticked, because this trigger is gonna have an untriggered event. That's why if it's not ticked, you're gonna have issues. I'm gonna show you that later on. Let's get back right into the coding. Alright, so we got our 6 variables. Now, since we're doing an untriggered event, we gotta type in void on trigger enter, not 2D, because we're not doing 2D. And it doesn't have to be private. Then, what do we do from here? So, in order for us to have it popped on the screen and come up the screen, we need to do a coroutine. So, start coroutine, and we can call this whatever we want. I'm gonna call this trigger etch or achieve, trigger achieve 01. Open and close parentheses, semicolon. It's gonna highlight in red. Don't worry about that. So how are we gonna get this red underline away? We need to do an I enumerator. So I enumerator. Then we have to type the name that we set it. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. 01. Open curly bracket. Close curly bracket. So they're both highlighted in red. So don't worry. So what are we gonna do in an enumerator? We're gonna do. We're gonna have to, once the player hits that trigger, we're gonna have a sound effect come off. So we're gonna do the pop effects dot play semicolon, and it's save the script. Okay, so we're gonna do it this way. Okay, let's try to reverse this. Understand why it's not don't want to do it. Let's try the collider either. Okay, so let me try. I really hate to go to my other assets. Let me open this one up. Now what? Let me cop. Okay, so I'm gonna let y'all copy this. Do this. Try this different name. It's never given this freaking trouble. It's never given me that kind of trouble before. It is never given me that trouble. Okay, so guess we have to deal with that. I will leave this script in the description down below for y'all to download. Alright, so we want this to trigger after the player enters that trigger. Then we want to set the notification to true. achieve notif. Okay, so then after we had that sound effect to play, then we need to set the notification to notif.set active to true, so it can pop up on the screen. Then we want the image, achieve image active true. Then we want the description, achieve desk dot set true. Then we want the title, colon. Now, for the next line of code, we want the achieve title dot get component brackets text dot text equals then quotes. Let's say, have it say welcome to the semicolon. Then we want the achieve description, the component text dot text. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Reverse. Let's take this, copy. Need to set the title to event locked. Then we're the brackets for the description. And there we paste that in. We have the semicolon there. Alright. Then we want added delay. So do this, we gotta do let's call it a yield, return new, wait per seconds delay. This is different from Unreal Engine, where you can just click it out and type in delay and set it there. No, this one you have to do a yield return new. So we could do yield turn new, wait 4 seconds. You can set this how long you want that achievement to stay on the screen before it can pop off. We're gonna do 5 seconds. Semicolon. Now, how do we? So we got the notification, the achievement notification on the screen. So what we do after the delay to turn off, to take it off screen, we gotta do the reverse. So instead of we typing this back in, we can take these 4 lines of code, Control C to copy, and paste them. Instead of true, we want it have it to false. So take it off the screen. So from true to false means it's not visible. Then we type in the same thing for the achieve title and the description. We're going to press Control C, then Control V. Then all we gotta do is highlight the text, delete, highlight, delete. Now once we got the notification popped up, then we want to get the trigger and set active, and we're gonna to false, so it cannot be triggered. But it's gonna re-trigger again once the player starts a new game or restarts the level if they die, because this is not set as a player pref. So save the script. Don't worry, the script will be on my website where you can download it for free. Now let's go to Unity. Take a few minutes for the script to compile and Unity to recognize it. Where this cube is, we're gonna rename this. Name this to achievement. Then we're gonna take this script and just attach it to that. Right. This is important when you attach the script to an object. Referencing things from the hierarchy and putting it here, that's important. You got to reference it. So for the trigger, we want achievement trigger, the achieve image. Oh shoot, you know what? We didn't even set that up. So we need to create a canvas. Then we're gonna go right click, UI, raw image. Okay, create a new canvas. Get the rect tool, and bring this down here. Call this and stretch this out. Don't worry, we can resize this just to test it out. We're gonna have it. Let's duplicate this first. Control J to Control D to duplicate. For this one, it's gonna be paste this down. Put in for the achievement to come in. Give me any. Oh, we need to anchor this to the bottom right corner. Oh, it's just gonna be in then in the middle of the screen. Call this one achievement. And I do have a little. I'm gonna bring in the screen tick mark. You can download it from the website for free. And we go to the tick mark and set this where it says texture type. We set it to Sprite 2D and UI. Apply that. And now let's go back to the achievement image in our hierarchy. Where it says and where the raw image is here. Texture. We just click and drag it. The event system. Good. Alright, so we got that set up. Now we just need to add the text box here. So we go with the achievement notification panel selected, right click, UI, and text. Change this to white. Center this on line. This will be the achievement notification. Call this tool. Just to test. I'm gonna be using the Unipix font. It's up to size 25. Looks 30. That looks good. Boom. Patched. And we can duplicate this. Control D to duplicate. This down. Will be the description. Perfect. So now we could, with achievement description selected, hold down shift and click on the achievement notification panel, select all of those, click this little tick box up here to disable it by default. Alright, so back to our achievement trigger. Now we can set this up. For achieve notif will be achievement notification. Achieve pop sound effects. We gotta create that. Here. So we'll go to a first person controller. Right click audio and click audio source to rename text. We're not gonna make sure play on wake is unticked and set the volume to half, 0.5. And I also have this little pop sound effect, which you can also download from the website for free. Just drag and drop that into Unity. And just touch it there. Back to here. Pop sound effects will be this one. Achieve title will be, whoops. Achievement title. Achieve desk will be achieve desk. Achieve image will be achievement image. Control S save. Test this out. Let's play. Gonna be a little bit laggy. Okay, so it did not. It trigger. There we go. Achievement unlocked. Okay, so we gotta make some adjustments. Right, the reason why it's being so laggy is because the post processing. So we need to go to take the generate light. Oh, there it is. But picked everything. So vector scene view. Application panel. There. Again. Oh, whoops. At the disable it. Did it duplicate? That save. Press play now. I don't know why it's going backwards when you hit W. Okay, so it's the text box. So we give it title. Stretch that out. Control S to save this time. Turn that off one more time. Control press play. There we go. Achievement unlocked. The one that had it right. Control S save. Try this one more time. There we go. Achievement unlocked. In the game. Again. Oh, work. Right. So that worked. Now on to topic. Right. The intercom system. Okay. We need to go to the Unity asset store for this one. So we'll go to Window, asset store or Control 9. Bring that up. Almost done with this. Alright, since we're not gonna get to. Well, we're gonna get. Flashlight can we're not gonna get to today. I've been recording for 40 minutes. We're on the asset store. Search bar, type in speaker. Speaker. And we want speakers PBR by BUV. I'll link this asset to. I will link this asset in the description down below. All you gotta do is hit that blue download button and import. Make sure everything's selected and click import. Then go to the speakers PBR folder. Like the prefabs, you got two. You got one that looks like a radio, and the other one is actually looks like a Bluetooth speaker. So let's go to our scenes. If you can quit doing this shit, let's close out the asset store. Go to scene view. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take speaker 2. Just put it right in here. I'm gonna add a component because there's no box collision over it, so we have to put one in ourselves. So add a component. You can add a box collider or a mesh collider. It's up to you. I'll go for a box collider. And make sure this trigger is not ticked. If you tick it, it's gonna walk through it. This one, if we wanted to say something like, say, do not enter or protect the boss man, or some other voice you want to add, you can do that. We could apply the same method like we did with the achievement. So we're gonna take in our hierarchy, right click, 3D object cube, set this to our desired height and level. Five on the Y, 5 on the Z. Make sure mesh render is unticked. I'm gonna call this speaker chick. Call that, and make sure is trigger is ticked. And if we go to our first person controller, we can duplicate this pop sound effects audio source so we don't have to replay it. Play this in. Go through right clicking and audio and add the audio source. We can just duplicate it. Control D to duplicate, F2 to rename. Call this intercom SFX. gonna go to my Audacity folder. The one I'm going to use. I'm gonna do this. They call me Rocket Man. That I used in my Call of Duty voice training video. Then we just replace it, drag and drop an audio clip. It will replace the previous audio clip that was there before. Make Control S to save. Alright, so how are we gonna get this to work? We could do the same method like before. In our scripts folder, right click, create another subfolder, call it intercom or speaker, whatever you want to call it. Then in that folder is going to be a script that's going to be specifically for that intercom. So right click, create C# script, call this intercom. Or call it whatever you want, and open that up in Visual Studio. Alright, this one we're going to use 3 variables, 2 game objects, and an audio source. So we can get rid of void start and void update because we don't need those because we're doing an untriggered event. So like previous script, make this section our general variables. So we need to do public game object. We're gonna call this the speaker. The speaker. Semicolon. Public game object. Call this the intercom trigger. Then public audio. That settings. We want source. Call this I'm gonna call this the voice. Semicolon. Alright, we got our 3 variables set. How we get these to actually get this to work in the script? Like from the achievement, we're gonna do void on trigger enter, not 2D, because we're not doing 2D triggers. We're doing 3D triggers because we're doing a 3D game. And this one doesn't need to be private as well. Get rid of private. So in here on the void trigger enter, collider other, we need to get the speaker dot set active to true. Then semicolon. Then the voice dot play. Then the intercom trigger dot set active false. Semicolon, and save the script. This script will work as long as you do it right. Now let's go back into Unity and test this out. Before we even test it out, we gotta reference object. Then we gotta attach the script to the trigger. Gotta reference the objects. speaker is speaker 2. Intercom trigger, which is be the speaker trig. Voice will be intercom SFX. Let's Control S to save and test this out. As long as you put those there, it will work. Perfect. And simply had to do C# coding and Unity. If you're getting a warning message, you probably did something wrong. But it simply had to do C# coding with triggers. So if there's anything that I didn't get to, I know we didn't get to the flashlight mechanic. We're gonna do that as a separate video. But let me know if you got any questions on a certain thing. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you're new here, please subscribe with the notification bell clicked so you don't miss a single upload, stream, and premiere I come to this channel. I'll see you guys in a brand new video.